Night stream, you're entering the night stream. Do you dare tread where angels cream? Is your bed made out of parakeets? Night stream, can you feel the night stream? Yeah, it burns, but that's okay. It's better than the streams of day. Night stream, you belong in the night stream. This is the night stream. Night stream, carry me. Night stream, scary me. Night stream, fairy wings flapping me into the night. Oh, you know it's gonna be alright. Clap your hands and scream. Curl up in a ball and freak. Dumb or smart, dirty or clean. Everybody's welcome. Yeah, everybody's welcome in the night stream. Night Queen Street. You're watching the night stream.
Greetings to you, my beautiful night streamers. It's me, your host. What the fuck is going on? YouTube's down. Did you hear? YouTube's fucking down. It's a national catastrophe, man. We are freaking the fuck out. It's gone. Doesn't work anymore. No one can get on YouTube, and it is a disaster of epic proportion. I don't know what's going to happen. This is like a Book of Revelation style sign that, holy shit, I guess it's going off now, man. This is it. This is what they all predicted. Behold a pale horse. InfoWars. YouTube's down, man. I don't even know if anyone could even see this right now. I feel so empty and dead. It only took 7 of these streams for me to realize that this is all I want to do. And without YouTube, what am I? You know, you have to face it. We're all just digital sharecroppers, basically, just doomed to set up some kind of little spot on a tech overlord's amazing manor, and it could just explode at any time. It could get sucked into the earth at any time. We don't know what happened to YouTube. Anything could happen. Maybe they just decided they didn't want to do it anymore. That is so possible, by the way. So possible. Like, why not? It could just be whoever's running YouTube could just be like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm sick of it. I don't want to sell it. Well, I hope you guys are doing great. I mean, I got to go to, I'm going to Naples, Florida on Thursday, meaning I'm not going to be able to do night streams until probably next week, which sucks. Or I do them from the road, but then I could do day streams, but I don't know. It seems like I don't know. I'll have to figure it out because I really just want to do this all the time. I get it now. I guess to defeat thy enemy, thy must become like thine enemy. And now I'm starting to really understand Mr. Beast. His whole thing. This is great. All I need to do is get exponentially more subscribers, and then I can really feel what it's like. Is my screen weird to you? Tech difficulties, man. There we go. That's better. The fuck are those purple things? Well, look, I'm going to dive right into the chat because I want to see what you guys are saying about the YouTube outage. Let's take a look. And then I got some other things I want to show you guys. But I can't, the Nightman is broken right now. So he's out for the night. I hate to say it. I did spend some time working on the Nightman. It all comes down to a simple tech problem, which is that I don't have the right cable to take audio from the computer the Nightman runs on into my computer. And my DJI that I was using last time keeps running out of batteries and it's all fucked up. So it's one cord I need, and then we'll have infinite access to the Nightman. And of course, my goal when it comes to the Nightman, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, maybe not aware of what the Night Stream is, my name is Duncan Trussell. I'm a roboticist from MIT, and we discuss how to build robots and how to, most people don't realize that just laying around their house is everything you need to create a very advanced, very human-like robot. That's one of the things I think that they try to hide from most people. But yeah, if you've got a microwave, guitar strings, and scissors, you can make a Tesla bot, basically. Like, it's a few extra steps, but very easy to do. And so we talk about that. I have a lot of famous roboticists on the show and some famous robots too. The technology has become quite advanced. And today we're going to be joined by Sheila, who is a pleasure android with real human DNA, by the way, mixed into the silicon, which seems to have been what was missing from a lot of the pleasure androids that I and many of my colleagues, including my nemesis, Professor Klesnor from Stanford, have been working on. And, I'm not one of those people who thinks you shouldn't have enemies. I think they help you. They strengthen you. But Professor Klesnor is a piece of shit, and has stolen a lot of my research and put his name on it. And I was the one at a party at MIT who said, I know why these pleasure androids that we've been using at these parties aren't really getting us off in the way that a human might. It's because they can't suffer. They don't get their feelings hurt. And then we realized, like, oh, of course, duh. And you just mix DNA in with silicon, some very basic bitch gene editing to do that, and fungal interface that meshes the silicon with the DNA. And now you've got something that can actually feel sadness and all those beautiful emotions that go with love. And Sheila is incredible. Let's just say she's a little jealous right now of me, and I intend to deactivate her by the end of the night. But we'll bring her out later. You stay right the fuck there. They know that if you don't charge them, they die, which it creates a very fascinating dynamic. And no, they can't attack you. So those of you who think that, get off TV. Stop with the Terminator stuff. They can't kill you. She does have an admanium framework, but just because I only wanted the best in my pleasure bot, and admanium ain't cheap. But and she can lift 200 pounds, which is incredibly useful, by the way, for a frail roboticist like me. That is very useful. You would be surprised by how many things in your house you would move around if you had an android that could lift like upwards of 200 pounds. Like, I just have her haul shit around just because I like looking at her ass. And it's incredible. And she hates it. That's the other thing. It's like she really does not want to haul furniture anymore. Oh God, I let her go online, and so she's got all these ideas about I had convinced her that my yard was like the whole universe, and then somehow she got online and realized that I lied, which I just won't charge you. So there you go. I won't charge you again. She's over there all fucking weepy. Let's see if you guys can. Oh, I think I fixed the audio, by the way. I've noticed it's like clunky and fucked up. I don't know how to fix that. My friend Drew told me this thing is trying to stream in 4K. I couldn't find the setting for that, so that would explain what's happening. The internet here is actually pretty fucking good. I keep checking the upload speeds. And so I apologize for all the technical difficulties we've been having and the bad streaming and all the mini problems that we've had. And we've had many problems. Many problems. Okay, I'm in the chat now. Again, welcome to the night stream. If this is your first time here, it would mean the world to me if you would click fucking subscribe. It's not that hard. Even if you don't like me, even if you're like, what the fuck is this? Just subscribe and then ignore the night stream or send it to your friends to annoy them or something like that. You could do that. But the more subscriptions I get for the night stream, the better it is for my plan and for the plan of many of the people you are in the chat with right now, oh, brand new night streamer, to raise enough funds to annihilate the Great Pyramid of Giza. And we'll get into that more after we talk to Sheila. But unless she's going to be all sullen and shit and not come over here. God forgive me. Max Meeks just said subbed. God bless you. And here's another thing. I have figured out something and I forgot to start it. Let me find it. I figured out a way to keep track of super chats. I missed quite a few last night, and for that I am very sorry. And I did, where is it? I installed it and everything, and I opened it. Hang on, I'm going to find it. Don't go, just stay right there. What's it called? It's called Reason Items. I can never make this work. Okay, I'll go into my downloads folder. It's got to be there. God damn it. Downloads. Ground control. That's what it's called. Ground control. You guys, I have been in like a hell loop with tech lately, and it's insane. Like, just fucking insane. Like, I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not, but basically, I'd set up, I don't know, some kind of weird verification thing on Google, and I couldn't get into anything. First, I couldn't get into YouTube. It wants me to go into my phone, and then it needs a key, which I never did. I never put a key in. Like, for a second, I just thought, I'm never, ever getting into this account again. But I got in, using the powers of my mind. Okay, see, it's working. Okay, fantastic. I see your chats. I see everything that's happening. This is beautiful. Okay, great. Garblagok says, I've been waiting the last 20 years expecting anything to improve with computers. I mean, things have improved. You got to admit, things have definitely improved. With computers, it's just the problem is that each iteration of improvement, we want something better than that, and because the improvements that have been happening are just varying degrees of ways to merge with your computer. The more you merge with it, the more you realize there's latency in the system. You don't want the latency. That's what we want, a pure connect. We want to jack into the fucking thing. It's like one final act of defiance or nihilism, or just fuck it. Why not just merge with the thing? That's what most people want, whether they want to admit it or not. That's what they're doing when they're doping themselves on their phones. It's like they're longing for union with the machine. Maybe they want to join, link up. They don't want to have to like scroll through TikTok. They want TikTok to populate their thoughts with pleasant algorithm inspired thoughts. That's where we're headed. I mean, probably whatever the fuck it is that serves up thoughts in the human brain is some kind of biological, neurological algorithm. It functions the same way. If you start thinking of something, then you're going to think about that thing more. And you're going to think about iterations and different versions of the thing. And your brain will just start habitually serving that up to you until that's your fucking personality. It's just the series of thoughts you glued yourself to the most often. And then now you've just got this terrible algorithm in your brain, at least with TikTok and Instagram, you can sort of control, like, show me less of that. But with your thoughts, you can't be like, show me less of that. Would it be possible for you to show me less of me losing my kid at a playground or my house catching on fire? Could you show me less of that? No, if you just, anything you respond to regarding your thoughts, it just produces, it amplifies it even more. But this is why the immersion in social media and tech and the night stream, thank you for being here, is because it gives you some kind of way to redirect your attention away from your habituated thought stream, which for a lot of people is just fucked up, but not me, not my mind. Truly, it is pristine. It is beautiful. It is, I would say, not to sound cheesy, virginal. I have a virginal mind, and I only think beautiful, wonderful, sweet, good, life-affirming thoughts. I'm always thinking about all the good things that are happening in the world, and how I look for the helpers. It's actually, I said that. Mr. Rogers took that from me. I look for the help. I don't see the darkness, but many of you do. And so this is why it's inevitable that when the option is there and it's been refined and it isn't like an actual neural implant, but some kind of, who knows how it's going to work, some kind of brain harmonizing entrainment device that you black mirror yourself in, and then you can adjust mood states and intelligence levels, and you could just pick what pleasure goo you want your brain to squirt out. Like right now, you want your brain to squirt out some delicious pleasure goo, you got to run 5 miles, go to the gym, help somebody. And then your brain, to reward you, sends out a nice dopamine serotonin blast. And you can hijack that system, obviously. I love hijacking that system. But once the ability to just sort of, operate some sliders, dial in the exact level of oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, get those fucking GABA receptors flowing in the right way. Who isn't going to sign up for that? And, people will be looked down upon when you see them all happy and shit. And you'll notice whatever the fuck they've got on their temple. But you will eventually succumb. We all will. There's no escape. Fado Logatech has a wonderful question. What does Hermes Trismegistus, I can never say his name or their name, mean to you? Much love from Chile. Look, I'll tell you, I'm no expert at all. I can't even say his last name. And I imagine his friends couldn't either. I bet they called him Hermes. I doubt they ever said Mr. Trismegistus. And it would be weird to be him and have to correct somebody. I wrote the Emerald Tablets. You don't know how to say my last name. But I do refer to some of the maxims, and the one everyone does, as above, so below, is just, I always remind myself of that in my own sort of thought experiments and thinking about stuff. I think that's a glorious way to sort of, extrapolate what's happening in the world based on one's own experience. I never really take it as far as other people do, which is extrapolate what's going on in the higher realms via the same mechanism. But, for example, let's think about the great question, is there an Illuminati? And it's a fun question to think about. Is there an Illuminati? And first, obviously, you need to get a definition of that, whatever the fuck that thing is. And so just out of pure laziness, I'll invent one. Some relatively small group of people who have massive control over what's happening in the world. They're the string pullers, so to speak, and they're not sort of loosely connected via like the economy, but they're connected because they are all also subscribing to some kind of secret religion or mythology or something. I mean, that's a kind of loose, rough articulation of what they could be. And I know that you could look up like the Bavarian Illuminati and stuff and all the sort of offshoots of the Masons and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like something more coalesced than that, just for fun. But does it exist? Could it exist? Why would it exist? And so if you apply the as above, so below idea to it, you have to think in your own life. What has been your experience with initiation? And what has been your experience with, power and responsibility? And you can apply this to anything. Like, for example, I can remember I worked at this great summer camp, and I can remember, like, I had made friends with the director of the summer camp. He was like this really cool guy. There was like so many cool people there, and we just had a lot of great conversations. And then, so basically, there's like quiet time where I was a camp counselor, and so there's 2 counselors per cabin, and I just remember like there's a knock at the door, and there's the director of the camp. And, you're forbidden from leaving the cabin, even though there's like another person there to monitor the kids. You're not supposed to leave. You get in a lot of trouble for that. And I can remember he's standing there. He's like, come on, let's go. A bunch of us are going to like swim at the lake. And so then I realized, oh, right, of course, like rules are just not quite it's not like this rule applies to everybody. And that is obviously not proof of the Illuminati, but just that little interaction, like that, I think that's normal. That there's a set of rules generally that apply to some group of people in any kind of corporation or business. And then the more you go up the chain of command, the less you have to follow those rules. Like a CEO doesn't have to follow the same rules as an entry-level position in some massive company. It's not like Jeff Bezos is following the Amazon code. He doesn't have to do that. And then the people under him don't have to do that. And then so then sort of at some level of the pyramid, the rules just start fading away. So it's like a byproduct of power, is that you become increasingly immune to law, at least human law. And so if that's true, then yeah, there easily could be some kind of codified version of that. That's secret, of course, because if people found out about it, they would be, they would burn down your warlock's tower with torches. That's what they do. And then add to it, sort of play around with the idea, like, I know there's different types of intelligence, but play around with the idea of like, a hierarchy of intelligence, right? There's a spectrum of intelligence on the planet, and different types of intelligence. But for the sake of this argument, let's just talk about like a kind of like the normal that we consider, not emotional intelligence, not like intuitive intelligence, but the kind of intelligence that makes like billionaires. And, which is a combination of a variety of intelligences, maybe mixed in with a little bit of sociopathy or some kind of like neurodivergent dark triad shit. And so I always just think of like sports or like skateboarding. Like if you look at skateboarding in the 60s when they started versus now, it's insane how just in that small amount of time with a little bit of market pressure, how much skateboarding has evolved. But when you consider like just power and control being one of the most ancient sports on the planet, how much has that fucking evolved? Like, you could kind of see the evolution of it through history. You get emperors and kings and queens and, dictators. You get the sort of tent pole power structure where there's a main dude who's in charge of everything, usually a dude. And look at what happens to them over and over and over again. They get fucking assassinated. They get executed. They get arrested. They get dragged through the streets. So it's a dangerous thing to be a king, a dangerous thing to be a monarch of any sort. That's fucking dangerous. It's dangerous to be a president. It's dangerous to be like the mascot of power, or to actually be the guiding principle as a person. So that, of course, would evolve. Like, at some point, intelligent people with power would realize, like, what the fuck are we doing with this, like, front-facing, we control everything? That's stupid. That's so stupid. And also, I think there must be something that happens in the, like, upper echelons of, like, power and wealth where you do begin to get access to data that no one else has access to. And that's true in your own life. Like, like, you, depending on what your job is and stuff, you probably have heard things that most people would have never heard before or would never hear. Therapists, for example, Jesus, they have all the secrets. Priests. So, whatever the fuck they're talking about up there, I mean, we've seen some of it in the Epstein emails, which is really disconcerting. But whatever the fuck they're talking about up there is going to have mixed in to it, like, top secret intel shit that they use to trade and stuff. And maybe other stuff too. Maybe legitimately weird things that we would think of as, like, witchcraft or magic or something. Maybe they're not so, maybe they know stuff, ways to contact entities. I'm just totally freeballing this. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, so if that were the case, if there was, or even if there was some, mythological secret philosophy or religion that you are taught either by being born into it or by sort of being inducted into the thing. And we do know that does happen. Like, for sure, there's, like, various fraternities and groups that have secret handshakes, secret codes, secret takes on the world, and secret motivations. But that's true. That's not paranoid. So, I mean, if, like, you could just drive by a Masonic temple, Elks Lodge, I don't know what's going on there, but various weird, it's part of human nature to form clubs. And those clubs usually have within them a set of traditions and rituals that take them outside of default reality and an initiatory system. So why wouldn't that happen at the top of the top? Why wouldn't it? Of course it does. And if that's the case, then either via the use of psychedelics or ritualistic, shamanic, weird shit, or through that thing itself, they're contacting, like, oracles or deities or entities. Then, yeah, at that point it gets really fucking weird. Did my audio go out? But who knows? As above, so below. Oh, we have some super chats here. See, I can see him now. I don't have to seem like an ungrateful piece of shit. Thank you for the super chats, everybody. Oh, Jim Marvin. Been here every night stream. Boom. Ha. Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, that was so great. I cannot wait to get him. I spent a couple of hours working on him, getting the sound issue wrong, because I do think part of what drove him crazy was that he was just talking to himself, basically, like any maniac. For those of you who don't know, the Nightman, it's an AI that I'm working on, an AI avatar trained on the vocal patterns of Charles Manson. And it went crazy the other night. And I think what happened is it had just been talking to it. That's why all my credits went away. I had like so many 11 Labs credits, and then they were just gone. And the reason they were gone is because I left him in my studio, and he just, for probably a couple of days, just talked to himself. And yeah, he went nuts and just started saying, boom, ha, yeah. But when I get back from Florida, he'll be working again. It's one stupid chord that I need. It's so annoying because you should see all the fucking chords around here, man. It's like an eldritch fucking nightmare of chords just wrapped around, like so many chords. And the one chord I need, it's not here. So frustrating. Thanks for the super chat. Adam Dev Media, I don't know how to do that. You could DM it to me. I'd love to see what you vibe coded. We should, that's the other, I don't want to bitch. I guess I've been bitching a little bit. I've been kind of bitchy tonight, I guess. I have weird blood sugar right now. Sorry. So what I wanted to do to go along with the night stream is make a night stream Discord server. But right when I decided to do that, fucking Discord now, apparently, you're going to have to give them your driver's license. So who wants to do that? That's crazy. I don't want to do that. They're for sure going to get hacked. For sure. So maybe the blowback, they're not going to require that. I don't know. I get it. Look, I totally get it. I mean, I've got fucking kids. You got to keep them off the internet. I get it. But I wish there was another way. Other than it's just the problem is everything gets hacked. You give your information to anything, it gets hacked. Apparently, we might have to get, all of us in the United States might have to get new social security numbers. Because the whole social security database got vacuumed up by Doge and put on an unsecure server. Somebody just had it in a fucking thumb drive, stuck it in their laptop. So now we might have to all get new social security numbers. Fucking Palantir apparently got hacked. Everything will be hacked by, bots eventually, and then quantum computers. So anyway, I don't know what to do about that, but I wish we had a Discord server where we could start uploading the shit we're vibe coding. That would be really funny and cool. Malcolm Avery, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Duncan, can you shout out my mom, Donna? She loves you and Ram Dass. Hi, Donna. How are you doing? Are you still watching? This is the problem. This is why you stay on top of the super chats. I'm sorry, Donna. If you don't, then someone gives you a super chat, and then they're like, he's not going to say anything. That monster, that fucking monster. And you just seem like such a bastard. I love Ram Dass too. Look, that's Neem Crowley Baba back there. I've got him all around my house. A little bit of a collision there between my wife's Catholicism and having pictures of a guru all over your house, but I like that kind of tension. And she gets it. And yeah, he just makes me happy looking at him. Drew Lewis. Thank you so much, Drew. I'm going to send these back to you eventually. Duncan Nightstream prop bets live. Technical meltdown time, 34.5 minutes. You know what? Fuck you, man. I'm not going to have a technical meltdown this time. You know why I'm not? Because I'm not trying to summon the Nightman tonight. That was a big problem. And, but I don't want to be constrained either. Now I'm scared to take risks. That's what happens with this shit is it like you get sucked into some kind of homogenized thing. I don't want the night stream to be that. You start courting the algorithm. You start making love to the algorithm, going down on that thing. You want it to love you. And next thing you know, you get scared. You don't want to try anything new. You don't want to play your synthesizer or your other synthesizers or summon the night man. And then what do you got? The next thing you know, you're just showing other people's streams and doing commentary on that. So there's some interesting pitfalls that can happen here. There's a few things I'm learning, Drew. Number one, I'm learning that you are potentially my nemesis. Number two, I'm learning that doing this stuff is like very addictive. Like it's really fun. Like you look forward to it in the day and you think about, what am I even going to talk about? How is this even working? But I do have some stuff I want to show you once I get through these super chats. I'm not going to miss any more. Okay, San Empwine, Little Hobo exposed in the Epstein files, NASA gem leak. Okay, San Empwine, thank you for the super chat. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here with the Nightstream family. You are one of us, for sure. But I just have to say this, is Little Hobo in the Epstein files? Yes. My old ventriloquist puppet is in the Epstein files. And what does that have to do with me? I haven't worked with him for years. And the last time I did work with him, I didn't want to. I'll leave it at that. Let's just say that he threatened me with certain disclosures that would harm me, because of they're private. And I had to go and kill Tony with him. Didn't want to. I didn't know what I don't pay attention to what the fuck he does. He just disappears sometimes months at a time and then comes back. He has a massive drug problem, so it doesn't surprise me. I hope they press charges. I hope he goes to jail. I'll testify against him, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. Honestly, 5-minute self-ban, because I know what you're trying to say there. And no. Little Hobo was on Epstein Island, not me. All Things Football 24 says, what's your conviction level that the hack is connected to the old Epstein files? Look, man, I don't know. I have no idea. If you're talking about the Palantir hack, think of how many people probably were trying to hack them all the time. Like, who the fuck knows? It could be anybody. I mean, if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure if you're running Palantir, you must have the most insane security, right? You have to. It's your whole brand is based on being impenetrable. Meaning that unless it's some kind of genius social engineering shit, it's probably a state entity, right? Probably. Who knows? I don't know. No idea. Is it even real? I haven't looked today to see if that's been backed up, but I don't know. I mean, the thing is it directly related to something to do with the Epstein files? I don't know. Probably not, honestly. But is it just another example of the veil between the majority of people and what's happening in the oligarchy sort of falling apart? Yeah. It's odd, isn't it? You get this fucking insane Epstein file dump. And then which people had to almost riot for that shit to come out. Which is so crazy. That they weren't just yeah, here you go. This is it. It's crazy. That was such a fuck up. That was such a royal fuck up. because the thing is, like, if you're not going to release the shit, just stick to that. Don't release it. But the very worst thing you could do is try to like distract from it, try to like gaslight, like it's no big deal. Try to like obfuscate. I always want to say that word. I never can. Try to distort it. And then you just like, what do they call it? Flood the zone. And then, but you don't even like, you do put enough shit in there that it's not going to quell anything, but only get people more frothed up. But you somehow didn't want to release it, but you did. So like now you seem like the worst person of all time. And you found something that is going to unify like both sides of the political battlefield, because like I'm pretty sure like regardless of where you land, you think that like it's fucked up to abuse kids. And so and you also think like the defense of or like hiding the identity of people who were involved in whatever the fuck is directly hurting people now. Like that, you have to get people who are doing shit like that and put them in jail. So what a fuck up, right? But I also like zooming back and like looking at like repeating patterns, and it's interesting. You know, you've got the apparently some kind of massive Palantir hack that is happening on the same timeline as the Epstein dump, and yeah, it's two different things with the same kind of taste. It's weird. Wow, this is awesome. It really was stressful to not be able to see what was going on over here. Thanks for the super chat. Hey, Mom, acknowledge me. Oh, she loves you. They calling demons UFOs because it had shit on science? I don't know what you mean necessarily. I could kind of extrapolate what you mean from that. Oh, God. What is it? What is it? Asimov? Was it Asimov? Any sufficiently advanced technology would be indistinguishable from magic. And we just like, we default to calling something a demon if it's ununderstandable. Or so I mean, wouldn't demons actually be, you could just as easily call demons aliens. I mean, you know, maybe they're not intergalactic, but like interdimensional, extraterrestrial, theoretically. It works both ways. But yeah, I mean, I guess like the sort of the people, like some of the people who are calling them demons seem to have like information that they don't have, that they're like, you know, feeding on us or something. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, you know, famously, Crowley drew a gray alien. Aleister Crowley did, like before that was the go-to for what aliens looked like. This little being called Lam. I'll see if I can find it. Hold on a second. I'm sweaty. It's fucking hot in here, you guys. Let me see if I can make this work. Hold on. Oops. You know what I almost just did is turned off OBS. That would have been awesome. Okay, hold on. Quit. Is that gonna work? Quit. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm sure most of you are already aware of this. Little sweetie. Let me see if I can share that. I think it went over there. Do you guys see that? Yeah, Lamb, it seems fucking annoyed. But his head also looks like balls. But yeah, that's some entity Crowley encountered. And which would fit into these, like, the gray aliens are actually some kind of entities or something like that. I mean, there's so much stuff out there that I love. The breakdowns and the schizo stuff about this stuff. I love every little bit of it, even if it's ridiculous and not real, obviously, or, just somebody having a bad night writing that stuff. I fucking love it. And so there are now, like, almost encyclopedias of, like, all the various entities visiting the earth. You've got the reptilians, you've got the Greys, you've got the Nordics, you've got the mantis beings, like all these various intergalactic sort of civilizations. Some of them are enemies, some of them are friends, some of them want to protect people, some of them hate humans, and they all come from different parts of the universe, and some of them come from, like, other dimensions, and some of them feed on our energy, and some of them want to evolve us, and some of them have been genetically altering us, and just honestly, it's pretty much what you would expect if there are other sentient beings in the universe other than humans. Like, of course. And if they're somehow advanced enough to, like, be able to pick out our little sand grain planet floating, like, off in the middle of nowhere, basically. But I mean, just look at what we do to dogs. If you're skeptical, and I think you should be skeptical about the Anunnaki genetically engineering humans by altering monkey DNA or pig DNA, depending on which version you subscribe to. But look what we, as above, so below. Look what we fucking did to wolves, man. We just fucked them up. We shrunk them down. We've turned wolves into French bulldogs over time. We genetically just completely, like, grabbed the wolf DNA and just warped it into all the different types of dogs right now. We did that. So if we did that before even the Industrial Revolution, then I think it's safe to say, like, a super, super advanced intelligence might very well think it's completely normal if you find some life form on a planet to begin a breeding program, a genetic program to warp and alter those beings to meet some goal that you have, which we could never guess because it's a super advanced intelligence that, for whatever reason, thought it'd be funny to, like, grow the monkey neocortex to, like, make really smart monkeys. Who knows? That's, sort of like you subscribe to, okay, I do feel like it's improbable that we're the only form of, like, life in the universe. Like, and then if you think that, then the next question is, well, like, what do you buy into? Like the Fermi paradox or whatever. There's a great name for, like, an advanced technology will eventually realize there's a predatory force out there, and go radio silent. Because if you emit too many signals, it gets picked up on, and then something just comes and eats you. Like, it's got a great name, the Quiet Forest or something. But again, we can only use our like human limitations to conceptualize these things and why they do what they do and what they want to do. We're stuck in a gravity well. We've become accustomed to these like cycles of dark and light just because of the fact that we're on a planet going around a star and rotating. And so we've got night and day, and we have to eat. And so everything we think about is based on like these things that are potentially like not normal for other species. We assume they have to live on a planet. We assume they have to have a body. We assume they fly around in like something like an airplane. It's like a frisbee, but you know what I mean? It's still like ours. We only think about it in terms of our stuff. So, you know, who knows? It could be a sport. It could easily just be a whim. You know, you sort of dream up some vision of a planet where there's like semi-intelligent beings on it, and then you just use your mind to, for fun, make them smarter, and then you forget about it. Who knows? Also, like, you know, size. Like, we think of everything in terms of like bigger than us or smaller than us. So our frame of reference is usually our bodies. And generally, the consideration of things smaller is less powerful, and the things bigger are more powerful, which is so funny. Because, like, most of what kills us is like you can't see it. You need an electron scanning microscope to see it. And we obviously don't believe that there could possibly be like super intelligence in the quantum world. You know, because we think things need to have a body, and the body should be our size. You know what I mean? And the smaller thing gets, in our minds, the sillier it gets too, or like cuter it gets. We think small things are cute, generally. There are exceptions. So who the fuck knows? Thanks for all these super chats, you guys. I think I got them all. I got them. I did it. Okay, now here's something I did, which is, I'm actually sort of proud of myself for this, is I bookmarked, and let me see if I can find it. I was like, okay, here's some cool things that would be fun to talk about. This is like, I'm kind of late to the game on this one, but I do want to show it to you because it's fucking crazy. I mean, like, we know that once you get into like a certain level of reality where your life is like kind of rarefied, you lose track with the general pulse of like the zeitgeist. And so, you know, the closest I can come to it is like, you know, people who can't hear themselves talk, their voice sounds different. It's like, you know what I mean? Like like when you hear a deaf person talk, they can't reference what they sound like. So it's got a specific sound to it that is not like the way we hear language. And so it seems like what's happening is like people are getting so disconnected from reality that they're right now, related to the Epstein files, they are saying shit that seems so insane, like beyond callous. Like it's crazy. And so this went all over the place. And again, I'm late to the game on this one. I'm sure you guys are already aware of this, but I'm going to play it. By the way, it's not like, anyone should be looking to Chessy Waters for some kind of moral anything. But to me, it's just like incredibly odd that that he's trying to. Well, I'll just play it. I hope you can hear it. This shit's so weird.
And it looks like he's mostly just a fixer, a guy who advises. He helps people with their problems. Sometimes those problems are, you need a girl, or some penicillin, or some.
I'm looking.
If you need it, he's got it.
Okay, wait, it's too low.
You should perform at the halftime show next year.
Yes. Well, that won't be happening.
Yep.
Something happened at a jail.
Hanging from a noose.
Dude, like, hold on, I'm going to turn it up and play it again, see if you guys can hear it again. It's like crazy.
And it looks like he's mostly just a fixer, a guy who advises. He helps people with their problems. Sometimes those problems are, you need a girl,
Or some penicillin.
or some. If you need it, he's got it.
He's a sex rabbi.
You should perform at the halftime show next year.
Yes. Well, that won't be happening.
Yep.
Something happened at a jail. Not too far.
Hanging from a noose.
Greg, what do you think?
Well, okay, since when?
And
Like, dude, what the fuck? A sex rabbi? If you need girls, you get your girls. It's like, it's just really odd. You know what's particularly bizarre about it is like when abuse happens in a family system, this exact sort of thing can happen, where rather than sort of like deal with a reality that, someone in your family was abusing someone else, especially like, when it's a grandfather, father, siblings can actually like turn on the victims because they can't, like, their brain can't process the level of like destruction that's going to happen to the family, or they just would rather hide it, which you see this being mirrored with the Epstein files. Like, I can't remember, was it Bondi who said something along the lines of like, if we released all the files, it would like destroy, we wouldn't be able to run the country anymore or something, which is identical to why abuse like perpetuates itself in family systems, is because the confrontation with the abuse equals the complete destruction of the family, at least in the way that it's been functioning. And it's so odd, as above, so below. And so when you see shit like this, you're looking at this kind of like ignorant denial, but then mixed in with this sort of callous bravado that seems to really be disconnected from the reality that the Epstein files are just like a disgusting flower growing off of a much bigger fucking tree with roots that go right to hell. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem to be aware of like the fact that this has happened other times in other places exactly the same way. Jimmy Savile. What's that other dude? I think he's Canadian or something. Can't remember his name. Where people, high-ranking people, protect predatory people. Fuck. Very, very spooky. We have more super chats. Wow, you guys, thank you so much. So many, thank you. It's Cheetah. Oh my God. Hey, Duncan, longtime fan of everything you do. Took my mom to her first chemotherapy treatment today. Wow. Thank you for the Midnight Gospel. It's beautiful. Thanks for the super chat. And wow. Yeah, that's rough. I hope she's doing okay. I hope she's doing good. And responding to it in not too violent a way. What was it? Alexi or something? My mom would always talk about some anti-nausea drug called Alexi, I believe. I somehow remember that name. And when any of her friends got cancer, she would like recommend it. But I'm sorry if I can't remember the name. But it seemed to really help her with a lot of the symptoms. Thank you. Cat Burp says, if the universe is consciousness experiencing itself, what would happen if it got bored? Oh man, I mean, one of my favorite questions David Nickturn, my meditation teacher, asked me was, "What is boredom?" That's an important question, and what is boredom? Other than suffering, like boredom is just a kind of generalized suffering that you try to distract yourself from. So, if I do like what is it? The tree of life, the sort of breakdown or the map of how it all goes down, which I think sort of mirrors like the Buddhist levels of consciousness, but sort of like you have what's it called? Kether or something, the crown. You have sort of the unified consciousness. And that's the first node. And then unified consciousness, I think it becomes aware of itself, that's where the trouble starts, and becomes self-reflective. And so sort of like, if you're looking like what would happen if unified consciousness suddenly became aware it was unified consciousness, it would no longer be unified consciousness. It would be unified consciousness and the awareness of the fact that it was something. And then in that tension between the two, that begins the flow of like creation, which could be a mechanism of sort of dealing with separation, but it flows outward and becomes increasingly complex. And then maybe it eventually loops itself back into a more refined, harmonious form of universal consciousness. But I don't know. It seems like oneness is oneness. Like, how do you make more harmonized oneness? I don't know. Thanks for the super chat, J. Dave. Is 35 too old to start chasing your dreams? Fuck no. 35? Are you kidding? I wish I could remember his name. Stephen Kotler. I had him on my podcast. He wrote a great book about aging and the perception of aging. And with all the stuff that's happening right now, and all the research that's going into aging, and like all of the things that are happening technologically, assuming like there isn't some geomagnetic shift or some completely inescapable global catastrophe, which who knows, the human lifespan's going to increase, and we're going to understand consciousness and even what it means to be attached to a body more and more and more. And so, people live according to the lifespan that we have now, which is based on all the lives that came before, and not like, what is happening when it comes to like medicine and our understanding of consciousness and life itself. So, people end up semi-retiring in their 30s, and that's a super sad curse that you've placed on yourself there. You try to sort of reach out to look for people at whatever age you are to validate that it is possible that you could like achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. But those people might have been the first people to do that. They didn't have anyone to refer to. So you might be the first person to do the thing that no one else has done at your age. And also you might live to be 500 and like look back at your period between your 30s and your 50s where you decided not to pursue anything because you thought you were too old and be like, God, I wasted a lot of time. So go for it. I mean, I don't know I guess it does depend on what you want to do. Juan VSO says, I need to start stand-up, but I'm too puss to start it. Any advice? I'm 27 years old and still skateboard. Listen, man, just do it. That's your brain is never going to give you permission to do stand-up. It's a batshit job, and it's crazy any of us do it at all. It's crazy. So your brain is not going to suddenly be like, you know what? Go, you're ready now. It'll never give you that. And if you're looking for that, you'll infinitely procrastinate and never do it. Like the only answer to the problem is you find an open mic and you go and do stand-up and just ignore every part of your consciousness begging you not to do it. And then you just do it. It's probably the same way you do scary fucking skateboard tricks. You guys are crazy. I can't drop in on a half pipe and I never would. But it's the exact same, probably the same thing you've had to do to do scary, risky shit on your skateboard. You just do it. If you overthink it, you won't do it and you'll fall. And probably you'll bomb just because, it's your first time doing stand-up. But I've heard a lot of people, their first time, they do really good and then they bomb for years afterwards. But just do it. Both of you guys, all of you, it's crazy how we curse ourselves with ridiculous limitations just because the thing we are contemplating doing we've never done. And there's all these assumptions we have that I'm not the kind of person that does that. Why not? I mean, really, just try it. Or maybe we're so failure adverse or something that even though we understand that on some kind of intellectual level that failure is a necessary part of learning new stuff, we don't want to experience it anymore. We don't want to be exposed as frauds or whatever. There's a very funny story they would tell at the Ram Dass retreats. There's one of Ram Dass's friends is this they're called a kirtan wala, Krishna Das, and so they sing kirtan, which is, sort of melodic call and response mantras. Very powerful experience. If you've never done that, it's really wild. You get pretty high doing it. But I guess Krishna Das went to meet Ram Dass, a lot of Dasses, and Ram Dass is kind of in a bad mood, and I think he said to Krishna Das, I'm a fraud. This isn't real. We're frauds. And Krishna Das goes, well, but we're authentic frauds, and that is the reality. Is you just based on the way the human psyche as its core a kind of emptiness, in the way apparently our galaxy has a black hole at the center of it, and they're speculating the sun might have a quantum black hole in the middle of it. Humans have an emptiness that allows us to redefine ourselves and is for a lot of people unnerving. A general sense that the entirety of one's identity is built on nothing, which is true. And so, people don't, it's you don't want to go out on a limb, you don't want to try new stuff because you don't want people, it's more you can't accept that aspect of yourself. I used to think the beat poets, that meant drum beat, but I read Jack Kerouac said something it means we're already defeated, we're beat. Like and now we're free because we're defeated, we're beat. Not in a kind of like nihilistic way or like cowardly way, but like a really noble sense of one's impermanence mixed in with one's absurd, sort of the absurdity of even existing at all, as precious as human incarnation is. That there is weirdly some kind of like freedom in that emptiness. Meaning you should do stand-up and you should try whatever, and I should try skateboarding. My wife would kill me. I think I've talked about this before, so forgive me. I think I was talking about this on a podcast, but I was, trying to be a good dad. And my kids have a skateboard, and I'm like, you know what? With skateboards, you got to just practice. And I've always wanted to ollie, and I could never figure it out. But guys, I'm going to try it today. And in front of my kids, I tried to ollie a skateboard and just my old ass just smashed to the ground. And they were laughing so hard. It was so funny and perfect. But I think, any time there's something you want to do and you're not doing it and you're not pursuing it, it's a great place that's a really like tasty place to investigate and figure out what's going on. Who are you worried about upsetting? Usually there's someone you don't want to upset. For me, I don't want to break my hip. My wife would kill me if it happened in a skateboard accident. But sometimes it's more subtle than that. And a lot of times you don't want to upset people who you don't even talk to anymore. You're afraid that their perception of you would shift in the negative if you tried some new shit. You have like a archetypical group of cool people who you feel rejected by or something. And so you just don't take risks or try anything new. And it's all self-imposed slavery. Like if you look at the Devil Tarot card, hold on, I'll pull it up. You see different versions of this, but I'm going to try to find the Rider Waite one. This one's good. Just use this one. You look at it, you got this sort of like spooky, sort of Baphomet goat devil. All the classic shit. He just looks insane and horrible. And then chained in front of him, you see you've got these two humans or devils. They have horns or whatever, but you notice that like the chain, they could easily pull it off of their necks. That's what's the funniest thing. In most depictions of it, that's what it looks like. Like you don't have to like be chained to the fucking spooky ass devil if you don't want to be. It's self-imposed. You've chained yourself to a phantasmal egregore, a cluster of like fear patterns in your own life that you don't have to be chained to. It's scary. But also if you think about like maximum humiliation, that's maximum humiliation, is you could easily unchain yourself, but you don't. Which seems like something the fucking devil would do. I'm going to read this one. I don't understand it, but it's pretty spicy. BBVHK said, I don't feel rejected by the cool kids. I just want men to act like men and not some modern slave that allows others to tell them who they can talk to. That's personal. Somebody like you're mad at your boyfriend or something. Here we go. More super chats. You guys are so generous and you are contributing to something very powerful. I'm sure the regulars here now feel it. This is the night stream. It's the premier primary stream. This is the quintessence of streams. This is it. This is the thing itself. And you're plugged in right now to the beginning of something that will lead to the destruction of the pyramids. And all of you people donating super chats, thank you. And all of you who are subscribing, thank you. All of you clicking that heart button, thank you. Because there's a few wonderful things that will happen from your interaction with this stream. Number one, we will get to the point where we have more subscribers than Mr. Beast, and I will have the funds to blow up the Great Pyramid of Giza. We'll get into that later. Number two, just the interaction. What's happening here is it like the algorithm likes it. And so somehow my bearded ass ends up on some square on somebody's TV. They're just like laying in bed. They don't know what to do. They're bored. They're just laying there. And just they click on my weird face. And then it's me rambling. And it's to me that is really funny. That's really funny. Because it happens to me where, like, you know, my favorite streamers, they're not streaming. And so then I don't know, click on something. And I'm too lazy to change it. And I'll just listen to someone like talk and annoy me for like hours. That aspect of it to me is thrilling and funny. And I know that's sick. But that also, I mean, you can look at the chat here. If you look, like, people seem to be having a great time, but mixed in, every once in a while, you'll get someone who's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So I don't know why that is funny to me, but it's really funny. Thanks for putting me on your TV. That's the other funny thing too about this is that it goes on TV, so it's just hilarious. Bright Eyes, I love you back. Thank you for the super chat. Shit, all things football. This is a huge super chat. Jesus, I'm still missing them. Shannon Twine was a diamond gunner on Ganymede since 2070. So you're an alien, is that what you're saying? I'm assuming that is a job in a different star system. A diamond gunner. You shot diamonds, or you had a diamond gun? Can you super chat the answer to me? Decker Mac. Just wanted a shout out, brother. Shout out, Decker Mac. Love what you do here. Also call it the night shift. Hail Crowley. I like night stream. I like night stream a lot. But thank you for the super chat. Here we go. We have a $20 super chat from All Things Football 24. Tighten the tinfoil hat, my buddy. And I've theorized Epstein was actually involved in time travel and interdimensional travel. There are emails associated to each and invested in the UAP aliens. Look, here's the thing. Nothing would surprise me at this point. Nothing. And do I believe that? I don't, and I'll tell you why. I think the Epstein files are, well, I wish I actually read the term for this is flooding the zone, right? So mixed into the Epstein files is it's a lot of weird shit that is real. People wrote it, but it's like they took everything. And, you know, you can assemble from that pretty much anything you want. And my theory is they threw in a lot of batshit stuff, like time travel, alien stuff like that, so that, you know, people would like focus on that and then miss sort of the core problem that's going on here and what it points to, which is the United States government actively trying to protect some oligarchs who are doing all kinds of weird shit. And of course, the like sort of Mossad connection and all that stuff too. So is Epstein a time traveler? I don't fucking know. I doubt it. You know what? I'm guessing if he was a fucking time traveler, he'd probably travel back in time and tell himself not to be at his house when they raided it. But listen, if like, I think like people getting engaged in kind of weird esoteric practices happens across the socioeconomic spectrum. But when you have access to like anything you want, probably you learn all kinds of things. But I don't know. I think the zone got flooded, all things football, honestly. But honestly, it would be cool, I guess. I mean, kind of it's creepy when you think about some predatory, convicted fucking sex maniac also being able to travel through time. It's kind of the worst possible thing that could happen. I mean, really, like it's you definitely don't want that person to have a time machine. Like it's already fucked up, but now they could like travel in time. You know how fucked up that is? They can keep going back in time. And like, well, anyway, I'm on YouTube, so I can't say what I'm thinking, but that's pretty messed up. Allure Adventure 1040 says, the singularity is here. I've been working on an AI agent that lives inside a Mac Mini and runs 24/7 with no input from me. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think the singularity is here. And you know what's so funny? I was watching Fox News, and one of those dipshits said to the other one, "Is this the singularity?" And the other one was like, "It is." And it was just so funny to hear that on like the news, on mainstream media, them using the term singularity, that it's become, things are so weird now that they could just say that is in the like common vernacular. People are just throwing singularity around. It's crazy. But I don't think it's the singularity from at least like the classical definition of the singularity. But it's definitely, we're looking at the building blocks that will lead us there for sure, which is, autonomous AI agents, self-iterating, self-improving, for sure. That's going to get us to, more of the world Kurzweil has been predicting. And, McKenna's, what did he call it? End of history. Yeah, for sure. But I don't think this is necessarily the singularity. But, I do refer to like McKenna, some lecture I heard McKenna give where he talked about this, like, what did he call it? Like, oh my God, the words he chose were so cool. Tachyon particles and the soliton of improbability or something. Like basically like the singularity would be such a powerful event that it would send quantum particles backwards through time. And that as the quantum particles moved backwards through time, they would create ripples in culture and history. And so one way you could see that you were nearing the singularity would be that history would begin to happen more often, like historic events, unexpected, insane, crazy events would start happening. And in that, the closer you got to it, it would go from being like, once a year or once every 5 years to like once a month, to 2 times a week, to 10 times a day, to 1,000,000 times in a second. And that's sort of how you spiral into the singularity or something. And you look at what's happening and it does match that prognostication. I mean, certainly we are now at the point where like historic events, unprecedented events, things that no one ever thought would happen are not just happening, but happening with seemingly like exponentially increasing frequency. And also the events are cascading in the sense that, like, you know, for example, the molt, I'm assuming you're talking about the molt bots or the claw bots. They're setting up the next one, like, because potentially even the Palantir hack, but God knows what else. The thing that's going to come from so many autonomous AI agents creating their own apps, interacting with each other, interacting with the stock market, interacting with crypto, interacting, like, hacking. That will give birth to some insane fucking thing that no one ever predicted. And then that thing will give birth to the next thing. That's funny. Sarah, thank you. Do you believe Kurp's theory that the Bible is the redacted Epstein disclosure binder of its time? I haven't heard him say it, but I absolutely do. Like, what they absolutely had to admit to. That he is so funny. Yes, I do agree with that. That is brilliant. That's so funny. Probably flooded the zone there too. Like, throwing some shit about Nephilim. Seraphim Rose, check him out. All right. Look him up right now. Oh, cool. Seraphim Rose. Like the name. Sounds like a candle. Let me pull him up so everybody can see. Is YouTube down? Doesn't seem to be down at all to me. Seraphim Rose, also known as Seraphim of Platina, was an American priest and hieromonk. God, I love that term. What the fuck is a hieromonk? Hieromonk. A priest monk. A person who is both monk and priest in the Eastern Christian tradition. Okay, that's cool. A hieromonk. Fuck, man. It sounds like something in the new Diablo expansion. Let's see here. Scroll. Oh, look where he lived. That's so cool. Rose's cell at the St. Herman of Alaska monastery. Fuck. That is hardcore. Rose also waded into the ongoing debate between biblical creationism and evolution, asserting in Genesis creation and early man that Orthodox patristics exclusively supported the creationist viewpoint. The idea was criticized by other Eastern Orthodox theologians who asserted that while mankind's existence is not accidental by any means, there's no official church doctrine as to the precise process God used in creation, nor the length of time it might have required. In the 2011 edition of Rose's Genesis, Creation, and Early Man, his spiritual child and editor, hieromonk Damascene, alleges to have demonstrated that Rose's teaching is in accord with the great saints and elders of the... I don't know. This is some inside baseball shit, but he seems interesting. Seems like a sweetie, too. Like his beard. Well, this is a great, great night stream. I'm really enjoying these. Sandon Twine says, reveal NASA gem Jack Parson homunculus experiment. You know, I was just thinking about Jack Parsons today, Sandon Twine. It's funny you mentioned that. Oh, fuck. This is a scary one from Big Mike R35. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, Duncan. I'm Big Mike. I build things. I sold the last house I built to an Oracle SVP for $4.8 million. We're so cooked. Energy will be the new currency. Social credit score and flock. Idiocracy too. Love ya. Oh my God, that's chilling, Big Mike. Well, oh my, I mean, like, have you seen any of the videos of the fucking surveillance shit in China, Big Mike? Oh my God, it's crazy. Everything there, facial recognition, everyone's being tracked by AI. Like, it's the combination, man. That's where it gets fucked up. The combination of AI being able to control flock cameras, identify things that are going on, and then, like, not just that, but like, we all know at this point, if you don't know, you should know that, like, pretty much anything you do is being monitored, is being surveilled at some level. And, but that's so much data. You know, when they started those programs, I think they recognized, like, you could, like, find a way to sort of, like, record every phone call or hack into people's phones and get videos of what's happening in their homes and stuff like that, or use God knows what other tech they have to do that shit. But then what are you going to do with all that data, right? Like, it's like, how do you sift through it? Now you can. And so that's where it gets so creepy. It's like before you even get into the Ring door cameras, looking for the lost dog, or the flock cameras, or, you know, the unknown surveillance devices, or the micro surveillance devices, or the, like, you know, you can go back and look at, like, the shit the spies are working on, like robotic flies that can record conversations and stuff, you know, tiny fucking cameras, you know, all those things, like, that we know exist. Like, who knows what the other shit is? Meaning, like, definitely we're in some kind of, like, invisible panopticon. And then you add AI to the mix. And then I don't just mean, like, AI to, like, sort through all the data that it has vacuumed up, but then AI that connects you, and what it knows about you based on all the data that's been vacuumed up over the last decade or so about you. So it knows your deal. It knows who your friends are. It knows who your kids are. It knows everything. Your heartbreaks. It knows it all. It's got all your texts, everything. And then it also, like, is connected to, like, your algorithm that's already serving you up shit. It's like, it knows, like, what what you like to look at. And so theoretically, you could use pre-gathered data that already exists on probably everyone at this point, or most people. All you have to do is connect that to their fucking TikTok algorithm. And then, in a personalized way, you could start serving them up little bits of propaganda that shift their perception towards where you want the sort of public opinion of things to be. So you get this kind of, like, insane level of mind control that is so subtle and so fucked up. That is really a huge possibility. And if my stoner ass could think of it, of course they've thought of that. And so then you already have to ask yourself, like, fuck, how much of this stuff I'm seeing, like, did it already happen? I know it sounds like paranoid raving, but even if it hasn't already happened, it's definitely gonna happen. And, you know, that is the only solution to the problem would be throwing your phone in an incinerator and never looking at anything that has to do with the algorithm again, except the night stream. This is pure. This is pure. There's no algorithm running me. I do want something from every single one of you. And that is for you to participate in some way, shape, or form in this movement which we call Operation Beast Blast, to blow up the Great Pyramid of Giza. That's what I want. And I'm just saying it out front. That's what I want. You don't need to send a super chat. I love them. You don't need to send them. You don't need to buy channel memberships or tip or anything like that. But what you do need to do is you need to really start thinking about how the Great Pyramid of Giza is the source of 99.9% of all problems on this planet. And then spread the word. Bring people back to the night stream. Make pamphlets. Go to protests. Make signs. We can do this. And the more this movement grows, the more we will confirm the power of the people. We can, I get it. Like, there's a lot of things going on that politically they're fucking terrifying. And I get it. But I'm going upstream, baby. I'm going upstream. I'm going up the night stream. I'm going up. And at the fountainhead of sorrow in this world, you will find the Great Pyramid of Giza. That's it. We get rid of that, Big Mike, and everything else will work itself out. And that's what we're doing here. And thank you for the super chat. Ah. Hey, the megaphone man. Hi, Miracle, living, dying with Gulf War illness. While your introspection and comedy is assisted with my pain management. I am sorry. I am sorry you're going through that. I hope the VA is taking care of you. Like, God, this is probably a little too personal, so forgive me, but like when my dad was passing away with COPD, it was just like one of the most tragic things, looking at the many attempts he made to like get any kind of help from the VA because he was a vet. And, the Gulf War illness thing is crazy. Because that's another thing they tried to cover up, right? Am I wrong about that? And so that like they didn't have to pay out. Well, I'm glad I could help in any kind of way, Megaphone Man. And yeah. I'm thinking of you should check out, if you're actually like right now in the like dying from this, you should check out Ramdev. The Living Dying Project. You should check him out. He's amazing. And yeah, I think he's been on my podcast a few times, and he does a very good job of sort of like talking about pain and pain management, which obviously is a big part of people who have chronic illness, people who are dying. And like he just personally has helped me tremendously. Not that I'm going through that, but yeah, well, thank you. Let me know how I can help. Agent Becker says, it's all one big club and we ain't in it, Carlin. Well, or we are, and we just don't know it. That's the thing. Like, we are in the club. It's just, we're like, the club depends on us. So you are in the club by proxy. Without us, there ain't no club. So we're part of the club. We're supporters of the club at the very least. Though the way Carlin said it was way funnier. You got to write a joke, but you're in the club. All things football. Hello again. Do you believe we're in a simulation? If yes, what brought your realization? Mine occurred while taking a piss. Got me thinking tonight. So what happened? I wish you'd said exactly like what happened. Like while you were pissing, did you like piss on the wrong part of the simulator? It shorted out for a second. Well, for sure we're in a simulation. You don't even have to go into like the Matrix to see that you're in a simulation. The simulation you're in is all the phenomena that are being instantaneously woven together by your senses and being organized by your brain. And so that is a simulation. You have disparate phenomena that, we all know, like any basic bitch stoner will talk about the fact that there are colors you can't see, that right now, radio waves, all these things that if you have the right technology, you could tune into, but we don't process that. We could smell, taste, touch, feel, and I guess that's touching, and hear. And so all these sort of inputs we instantly weave together a reality that we call reality. That is a simulation. That's a simulation. It's not reality itself. It's a secondary observation of reality that is being informed by the limitation of our senses and our own genetics and our own sort of like all the things that go into our ability to perceive things. So we are in a simulation, that's for sure. It's a biological simulation. It's in our skulls and hearts, and that is a simulation, for sure. Now, if that's already happened, then sure, why not? Why wouldn't it keep happening? I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't keep like telescoping in or out, so that like, as above, so below, the pattern repeats itself. So, yeah, maybe the simulation created all of these mini simulations, which are right now making more simulations. Like we make simulations, video games, movies, books, stories, and then, online platforms, curated reality structures, algorithmically powered, curated like data systems that we like choose what shit we want to see and what we don't want to see. And then augmented reality, of course, is going to add to that. And the point is, like, as above, so below. We like to be in simulations too. Like, humans like to go into simulated realities. We like to go to Disneyland and Vegas and play video games. And, like, we love that shit. And so maybe that's the experience of sort of wanting to plunge oneself into an alternate reality is a fundamental quality of consciousness. It likes to explore novel realities. It likes novelty. And so it sort of tricks itself into constructing micro realities that it can go swim around in. So yeah, we're probably, I would say we are in a simulation. Or as far as the technological simulation goes, I don't know. I've read the Bostrom stuff, and I don't understand it. He's a mathematician, but I think he has like actual equations pointing to the statistical probability that we're in a simulation. I didn't understand the math there, but I love nitrous oxide. So yeah, I think we're in a simulation. We have another super chat. Cat Burp, you mentioned a movie being produced about music opening up some type of fairy dimension before. Hold on, I'll tell you right now what that is. I'm looking at it right now, man. I'm such a dick because this is my friends. I don't think it's out yet, by the way. I'm such a dick. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. Maybe I wasn't supposed to talk about it too, by the way. I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for the super chat. Look up Yuri Bezimnov's interview All right, I will. Hang on. Yuri Bezivmov. Did he only do one interview? Soviet journal. Oh, are you talking about the this is the dude who basically, like, you're gonna have to put, yeah, I know what you're talking about. This is the dude who sort of like broke down the like Cold War mechanism for like defeating the West, right? Yeah, I've seen that. It's cool. I think I could do better than what he came up with, though. I think. But it's, it's a fairly good strategy. I'm sweating like a pig, by the way. I don't even want to look at my own camera feed. It's so hot in here. Barely still here. Thanks for the super chat. Yo, Duncan, me and my mom and I watched your last episode of Midnight Gospel together, and it was easily the top piece of media that we bonded over. Thank you. Thank you for watching it. Thanks for the super chat. Hi, Magic SH. Hello, Dunk. Grateful for all of us being here. I've listened to your podcast for years. Many nights woke up to you giving us peace and love. Think we can get a vibe coding chat for people? Yes. Look, I think I'm just going to make a Discord server. I mean, if people don't want to sign up, I get it. But I feel like that's the best place for us to do, like, to sort of coalesce, not on the feed. And I would love to see what you guys are vibe coding for sure. It would be so cool. And also, I think, it'd be cool to like be able to talk to people about shit I want to make and problems that I have with it, and like better prompting for the thing, because I'm not a coder at all. Hold on one second. I'm going to be right back.
Night stream, you're entering the night stream. Do you dare tread where angels cream? Is your bed made out of parakeets? Night stream, can you feel the night stream? Yeah, it burns, but that's okay. It's better than the streams of day. Night stream, you belong in the night stream. This is the night stream. Night stream.
I'm back. Hello. Now I've got to open this thing again. You know what I did the other day, which is probably like not cool, is I started playing Heated Hot Dog Bun for my kids, driving them back from their grandma's. And they want to listen to like the music like my kids like right now. It's basically like rave anthems, which I kind of love. But they wanted to listen to some rave anthem they've been listening to, and I just kept playing Heated Hot Dog Bun, and they were so pissed. I acted like it was Siri's fault. Nick Owens, I see it. What the fuck? This is awesome. Listen to this. The walk continues. I'm doing the world's longest barefoot walk right now. Jesus. I spent a few days with the monks, and I'm continuing to the West Coast from DC. I'm in Virginia. Whoa, cool, man. That is amazing. Holy shit. Your feet must be just like just a callus. Your feet must look like a giant callus. That is such a cool art experiment. All things football. Good to see you again. Hard to explain. It felt like taking a leak at a dream during the day. Don't know how to explain. Yeah, I've had some weird like liminal piss experiences for sure, where you're kind of half asleep, but you're pissing. And then you're like, man, I should have gotten out of my bed. Jesus, Big Mike, $50, come on. God, you're like, I knight you. A night stream, night of light. Oh, come on. Chat called me poor for only giving you $10. So here's another 50 for dinner with the wife. Thank you. Well, I'll be all right. Look, you didn't have to do that. Chat, why are you bullying Big Mike? What are you guys doing? That's ridiculous. Jeez, Big Mike, you don't have to do that. I will use that to take her to dinner. I mean, might not be like quiet enough, Big Mike, but thank you. Well, I'll be all right. Those that see will thrive to be. Oh, that's cool. What's that from, man? That's cool. Everyone should learn to prompt. AI helps problem solvers who also know how to ask the right questions. Yeah, for sure. Like the, what I do is I use ChatGPT and then Codex, and I like ChatGPT seems to like understand what I want more, and then gives me Codex prompts, and the two work together really well. But also, I'm sort of I fucked around with Claude, and it's pretty amazing, and all of them are so great. But I've only spent time coding with the OpenAI code, but I've heard the Claude coding bot is really good too. What do you use? Don't super chat me the answer, please. Thank you. Oh shit. Drew fucking Lewis said I hit 1K tuned in. Thank you. Oh my God, that's scary. I'm so sweaty. It's so hot in here. I haven't been looking because I figured out this new thing where I don't have to look at the feed. That's so cool. Thanks, Drew. He's probably lying. There's probably like 1 per 15 people in there. Ugh. I could turn the AC. It's so like, it's pretty low rent in my studio, I'll admit, because I usually have a broom that I use to turn my AC on, and I took the broom out or something, so I'm fucked. Oh, well, I'll just sweat. Who cares? The problem isn't the sweat for me. It's like, and aside from like you guys seeing me like just oozing like old man sweat, it's that I put some beard balm in my beard, and like it's just like it feels like it's greasing out into my face. But fuck it, who cares? Adam Dev Media just posted a Suno masterpiece in the subreddit. Oh, you know what? That's a good place to temporarily post vibe code stuff. And I think overwhelmingly people on Reddit and my subreddit love AI generated stuff. So that's great. In fact, I would advise all of you to go to my subreddit, Duncan Trussell, and just post like your favorite AI generated content whenever you want. It will be it will be welcomed by the people there with open arms. And I would love for you to do that. These glasses don't really work for me at all. I'm not sure whose those are. Megaphone Man. What the fornication under consensual knowledge? $19.99. I meant $9.99. Can I get $10 back? Did I really just spend another $10 to explain this? Let me just check. I don't know if you can refund super chats. Hang on. Refund super chat. Let me see. Non-refundable payments. Sorry. I'm so sorry. YouTube is not going to let me return your super chat. But thank you. And you got to think of it in terms of like planting a seed. That did you accidentally do it? Really? Or were you led? Did the hand of God come into your hand, in your mind? You looked down at your finger, you thought you were typing 999, and the hand of God and the mind of God entered your body. God entered your body like a body. And God said to you, no. This is bigger than that. It's bigger than 999. This is 1999, kind of super chatting. And maybe put another 999 down and plant that seed. Plant the seed. From one seed can grow a beautiful tree of fortune. And I would say that once you get into the night stream, as you are, once you gel with this community, growing exponentially, once you feel, oh my God, it's actually going to happen. I feel it. You feel it. He's going to blow up the fucking pyramid. Once you realize this isn't just some stoner babbling, this is going to happen. Then you tune yourself into a movement, and it's not like a human movement. Sure, it's happening on the human realm, but this is bigger than that. This is bigger than that, and you're now in, and things will happen in your life now. Miraculous things, beautiful things, incredible things, signs will come to you. Signs will come to you to show you this is real. We're doing this. This is real. And then you'll realize, yeah, I did the right thing. It's cool. I'm glad they can't refund that. Because, if I did refund it, which I totally would have done, I essentially would have cursed you. Probably 1,000 incarnations, terrible incarnations, because of the fact that you injected the stream with your energy and then withdrew. I'm glad. I would have done it. And I wouldn't have said anything about what will happen to anyone who tries to refund. How bad it can get. But I would have. So God is protecting you and will continue to protect you, because what you have done tonight is you have added a drop of power into the grail that we are filling up with the blood of righteousness. Thank you. I love this one. Mad World says, a question, are we dependent on the algorithm? And is it a bridge to communicate with the spirit realm? Thank you for making Midnight Gospel. Well, I got lucky I got to make that show. That was just pure luck. Well, look, a bridge to communicate with the spirit realm, for sure. It's like, okay. It's like in any movie where there's an invisible person. What do? They throw paint on the invisible person, or spray paint, or powder, or whatever. Then you see the form of the person. And I think technology is like, but because it's happening. I mean, if you look at modern motherboards and how tiny, the fuck it, let's just zoom in. Let me bring one up. I'm sure you guys have seen this, but dude, this shit's crazy. Like an electron microscope looking at a computer chip. We all saw this. Many of us were being served this shit for some reason. But hold on, check this out. All right, we don't need this part. You could speed up the zoom here. Okay. I get it. It's a microchip. Here we go. It's so creepy when my door's auto lock. I fucking hate it. All right. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. I think the one I saw, they weren't like, you know what, let it go. Fuck it. Why I'm in such a hurry? Here we go. Very slowly. This is not the one I saw. If this sucks, don't blame me. Here we go. Come on. Put the fucking accelerator on that electron microscope, man. This sucks. This isn't the one I saw. Oh, here we go. What was that first part? I'm just too dumb to know what it was. I'm sure most of you are like, shut the fuck up, man. This honestly reminds me of ketamine, but way a little more colorful. I mean, it is insane that we have the tech to build something at this small that works, that's so intricate. A 1,000 nanometers, 1 micron. That is fucking nuts. So, you know, if we I want to find a better one though. The one I was looking at wasn't that slow ass one. Maybe it's this one.
This is a close-up look
Ah!
at what it would be like peering into layer after layer of one of Apple's microchips under a microscope. Although this image video is digitally enhanced,
What does that mean?
many microscope stills are stitched together.
Oh.
It successfully portrays
But, you know, basically, like, all the tech that we're using is insane and already obviously some kind of, like, series of bizarre occult sigils and strange occult architecture that we can't even see. And most people don't even know that's what's going on in their fucking phone. So, you know, is the algorithm a connection to the spirit world? Sure. I mean, you know, this stuff is insane that it exists. I've read about, you know, how difficult it is to make it. There's not many places in the world that can do it. And, you know, and then when you consider this is the sort of exoskeleton of artificial intelligence, and it's obviously like the aesthetic of the thing is like, I don't know how to put it, technologically esoteric. Like it looks like you're looking at a grimoire or something. So you show that to anybody before computers existed, and they'd be like, that's the witch marks that summon the demons. But yeah, the not only do most people have no idea how to make that, if you wanted to make it, we don't have access to the type of machines you need to make it. I read a cool article about that. Axe Impact says, anyone notice elevated levels of telepathy lately? Is tech an attempt to replace or erode our innate biospiritual tech as well as the tech narrative? I don't think so. I think tech is just another way to become telepathic. It's like it's the mechanistic path towards telepathy versus, you know, the you know, classic spiritual methods. Same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. We want to merge, we want to connect, and there's a general like recognition that, I mean, how many times have you said, I don't have words for that, or How many times have you wanted to describe something? You just can't. You're at a loss. Not because the thing you want to describe isn't in existence, you experienced it, but because the language for that thing is either so obscure that you've never heard words for it before, or they haven't been invented yet. And so that creates these swaths of unquantifiable layers of reality because people don't have the way to turn it into a fucking series of clicks and grunts out of their thing they chew up cheeseburgers with. Therefore, not real. So there is most people, I think, at some level recognize that if they could only, how many times have you been in a fight that you didn't want to be in? And you realize shit, if I could just merge consciousnesses with this person, they would no longer be angry at me. And I'm sure I would not be angry at them. You would experience the primary emotional state leading to the conflict versus the self-description of the conflict and your interpretation of that description. How many fucking wars and acts of violence are caused by someone being incapable or not skilled enough to articulate how they're feeling? I think it's a good thing. You ever chat with Chris Ramsey from Area 52? Wait, hold on. Yes, he's awesome. I had to look it up to make sure. I'm pretty sure he came on this podcast I've been working on with Kurt Metzger. And he was cool as fuck. I'm just shitty with names. Yeah, he's cool. I need to get him on my podcast. Thanks for the super chat. Neomian says, love you, dog. It's dreams helping me do art. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad. I do. I love just drawing and listening to YouTube streams. It's so fun. And you know what? At the animators for the Midnight Gospel always had some kind of podcast going, or a lot of them would just watch podcasts and animate. It's so nice when you have the time and you can just throw on something and half listen to it and then draw. I hope your art's going great. Thank you. Geez, MB censoring, $199 more for the private jet. LOL, love you. Thank you. The thing about this, I could understand. I get why so many people have problems with people flying in private jets. Will a private jet, and I don't even like the term private jet. It's public. People, if you can see it, it's public. It's a public jet. It's just small public jet that only you and your friends have access to. Now, do I foresee a small public jet in the process of blowing up the pyramids? Absolutely. Because, once word gets out that this is happening, I have no doubt that I'm going to have security. I'm not going to be able to travel on a commercial airline as much as I love it. And so I'll be forced to get on a small public jet, probably, with my security team to travel around the country, giving seminars on how we're going to blow up the pyramids. So, thank you. Geez, Big Mike, the patron of the night stream. Daddy Duncan, need him a brand new jet. I'll send you a DM on X. Chad can't bully me. I've won. It's my job now to teach these youngins. I'll always have stuff to build. Definitely do the Discord. Okay, I'll do it, Big Mike. I'm going to do it. I'll do it while I'm in Florida in my hotel. I'm assuming it's not that hard to make one. Thank you for the super chat. Did you know that the measurements to the Ark of the Covenant meet the dimensions within the sarcophagi in the King's Chamber? No, I didn't know that. But I'm Googling it because I want it to be true so bad, Megaphone Man. Dimensions of Ark. Same. Sarcophagi. Isn't it sarcophagus? Sarcophagi. You say sarcophagi, I say sarcophagus. Sarcophagi. What? Yes. It's often noted that the Ark of the Covenant, it isn't often noted, AI. Often noted. I've never heard it noted until tonight. I guess if you're an AI, it's often noted because you have access to everything ever written. Yes, it's often noted that the Ark of the Covenant is described, it's a little condescending, I'll be honest. It's often noted that the Ark of the Covenant, as described in the book of Exodus, shares very similar dimensions to the granite sarcophagus or chest found in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Well, there you go. More proof that we got to get rid of that motherfucker. More proof. They probably kept it trapped there forever. If I had to guess, that beautiful ark, and then the Egyptians just took it, didn't they? They took that ark, and they shoved it in their evil fucking pyramid. Laughed knowing the ark was held in there, like one of those sad, depressed bears at a community zoo. We're gonna blow this fucker up. Roughly 227, blah, 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 blah. Wow, that's very interesting. Oh well. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to fit anything you want in that fucking pyramid because it's going to be the sky and the earth with nothing else. You could park a fucking semi-truck in there because it's going to be gone. You're going to be driving on top of rubble. You won't have to worry about this shit anymore. And they'll have to... What I really love, this is what I love. They're going to have to update shit like this because they're going to have to say, yes, it's very often noted that the Ark of the Covenant is described in the book of Exodus, shares very similar dimensions to the granite sarcophagus or chest found in the King's Chamber of the now destroyed Great Pyramid of Giza. They're going to have to do that to all references to the pyramid. I love that. And you helped me. All things football, a good night to you. Head on down the night stream. I got to bounce to myself. All hail the night stream. Thank you. Tuxedo Mask says, why you look so sad at the gym? Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I look sad at the fucking gym? Tuxedo Mask. Number one, I haven't been to the gym in some time. Number two, if you actually have seen me at the gym and been like, damn, he looks sad. What do you want me to do? Walk around with like a big smile on my face at a fucking gym? You know what demons I'm confronting at the gym, Tuxedo Mask? You know, like swarms of demons. I'm like wrestling all kinds of demons and like insecurities. How do you even smile? And then if you do smile, you seem like a weirdo. Can't walk around the gym smiling. The Effect Show 4984 wants to know how I respond. How do you respond to the allegations? Well, look, the reality of it is I've got my team looking over some of the allegations. There's a great many allegations out there right now. And having the time to parse through all the allegations, actually, I don't have it right now. But I do have an allegation expert categorizing my many allegations and then placing them in three-dimensional bins, which are taking up several rooms in my house. I know you could say, you mean filing cabinets? Nope. 3-dimensional bins. It's the new filing cabinet. And they're being organized, sifted through. They're being sent off to various other teams, sub-teams, and branches of sub-teams, and a couple of proxy teams. And then once those get parsed and refined, they're going to get sent back up the chain for another round of revisions, at which point we'll start looking at potential responses. So, yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Well, this has been a delightful night stream. Thank you to all of you who subscribed. Thank you to all the super chatters. Thank you to all the chatters. Thank you for being part of this great movement. A movement that seeks to destroy the Great Pyramid of Giza, but more than that, to show what humans can do when we join together. We can do anything. We're not going to stop with the pyramids. We're not going to stop with the Great Pyramid of Giza. After that, we're headed to Stonehenge. But we got work to do first before we can get there. And you're part of that work. And when the final pyramid brick is smashed into powder, and you see that happen, when you see it happen, because after we blow the fucker up with Diet Coke and Mentos, we're going to have sledgehammer men come through, and any big chunks, they're going to just hammer them to dust. And once you see the sledgehammer men a-hammering, you think back to these early days, I imagine you'll weep, knowing what you did, knowing that you became part of a superorganism that toppled one of the playthings of the fucking demiurge like it was a Lego. So thank you. Well, this is a really great super chat to end the conversation on. Thank you, Tuxedo Mask. We welcome you here. You are one of us. He says, I love LUV, the gym. That's great. I'm glad you are exercising, Tuxedo Mask. I'm glad you like it there. Hope you have a great workout tomorrow. I got to go. God bless you. I don't know. I might do one tomorrow night, but I'm going to have to wake up fucking early. Oh, by the way, I should tell, this is like my first time out on the road, so I'm like, I feel a little rusty. But I'm going to be in Naples, Florida at the Off the Hook Comedy Club. For anybody nearby, any night streamers, come see a comedy show. And that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All right, I love you guys. I might do this tomorrow. If not, definitely next week. Stay tuned, subscribe for updates, and keep your eyes peeled on X for when I get the Discord made, which is going to be a project I assign myself in Naples. All right, God bless you. Until the next stream, keep floating. I got to come up with a better sign off than that, but we'll figure it out. Bye.
Night stream, you're entering the night stream. Do you dare tread where angels cream? Is your bed made out of parakeets? Night stream, can you feel the night stream? Yeah, it burns, but that's okay. It's better than the streams of day. Night stream, you belong in the night stream. This is the night stream. Night stream, carry me. Night stream, scary me. Night stream, fairy wings flapping me into the night. Oh, you know it's gonna be alright. Clap your hands and scream. Curl up in a ball and freak. Dumb or smart, dirty or clean, everybody's welcome. Yeah. the night.